Hello. So, my parents were huge fans of romantic comedies back when they were popular in the early 2000s and the 90s. I grew up watching them watch When Harry Met Sally, You Got Mail, and Sleepless in Seattle, and grew pretty fond of those movies myself. When I got a little older, I was shocked to discover that all three of those movies came from the brilliant mind of Nora Ephron, which is convenient because this video is part of the Director Project, a monthly playlist of videos devoted to one director, and that director this month is Nora Ephron, the late great filmmaker who almost single-handedly created the formula for the 90s rom-com, and it's easy to see why. When Harry Met Sally is probably my favorite romantic comedy of all time, Sleepless in Seattle is a classic, and I think You've Got Mail is a little underrated. However, in Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail, there was always something that just bothered me a little bit, and that would be the other man. You know, the leading lady's current boyfriend or fiance whose sole purpose is to keep the two main characters apart until the end of the movie. I always feel bad for these guys. They don't really have much to do in the story other than keep the two main characters apart, and can you blame them? If my fiance was giving some other dude the googly eyes, I'd feel a little hurt. Honestly, I wind up empathizing with these characters so much, I start rooting against the main characters. Many romantic comedies like Wedding Crashers circumvent this by having the other guy be a total jerk so that we're happy when the main character breaks the two up. And that's always felt like a little bit of a cop-out to me. I feel like that's just not how it usually works out in real life. However, the alternative is creating this wonderful, likable person who I wind up wanting the heroine to get together with, and then I get angry when they actually get together with the other lead instead because they left such a great, nice person who deserved more. From How I Met Your Mother to New Girl to Friends to Harley Quinn, I get really annoyed when writers get me super attached to one character and then just cast them aside at the last moment because we know the main two characters have to get together. It's just annoying. Just once, I want to see one of these other guys get their own movie where they find someone who likes them for them, but then I guess that would just be a normal romance movie. And also, as a brief caveat, yes, the other guy can also be a woman. Anyways, back to Nora Ephron. In When Harry Met Sally, we never actually get to meet the dude who Sally is dating. At least, as far as I can remember. This works well because it puts us in the position of Harry, who works as her sounding board and shoulder to cry on, but it also works because it keeps us from getting invested in this character. However, in Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail, Nora Ephron takes a different approach. In both of these films, Meg Ryan falls in love with Tom Hanks, goes to break it off with her fiance or boyfriend, and her fiance or boyfriend is usually just kinda fine with it. In Sleepless in Seattle, Bill Paxton just kind of smiles sadly and says he doesn't want to be the one that she settles for, and they break it off on incredibly good terms. In You've Got Mail, it goes even better. Greg Kinnear just breaks up with her before she breaks up with him, and then they laugh together about how neither of them loves each other and they both realize it, and they both wish each other well. And I have mixed thoughts on this. Like, on one hand, this is entirely unrealistic. Even in the most amicable of breakups, there's some measure of hurt involved, especially when it's your freaking fiance. I mean, dang, you don't care at all? I mean, I'd be a little insulted. You should be a little sad. Paxton looks disappointed, but like his coupon for a free ice cream cone at Dairy Queen has expired, not like his freaking fiance just left him. But on the other hand, I can see why Nora Ephron approaches it in this manner. There's a movie starring Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston called The Breakup about, you guessed it, a breakup. The entire movie is just watching this couple break up, and honestly, it's miserable to watch. In your average light and breezy rom-com, you don't really have the time to devote to the messiness of a breakup and the painful, complicated emotions that come with realizing you have to end a relationship with someone. And honestly, diving into that would ruin the vibe of a romantic comedy a little bit, taking the comedy out of the romantic comedy. So I get why you'd want them to have a nice breakup that's totally mutual without a lot of angst involved. We are rushing towards the ending. We need to see Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks make out as soon as possible. There's no time to dwell on this other thing. Plus, there's something wholesome and idealistic about portraying men handling rejection with this much grace. Is this often reality? No. Maybe it's something to aspire to. Still, it's a little bit of a pet peeve for me. So if you're writing the next great romantic comedy, maybe skip the other guy, or just give him a little bit more depth. Anyways, that's my little pet peeve. Feel free to leave your own romantic comedy pet peeves in the comments below, and happy Valentine's Day.